The name's Bond. James Bond.
This actor is responsible for the Bond we see in the movies right now. He revolutionized the way Bond watches work. Timothy Dalton's era as Bond was praised by many as well as criticized by many as well. So we don't know whether he was the best Bond or the worst. It's up to the fans to decide. Coming to his watches, in the movie The Living Daylights, a Tag Heuer was first and last portrayed in a Bond movie. The watch was a Tag Heuer Professional Night-Dive Reference 980031. The brand was going through a name change at that moment from Heuer to Tag Heuer. So we didn't know clearly whether it was a Heuer watch featured or a Tag Heuer watch featured. But unfortunately, this watch is not in production anymore and it is not available to the public as well. After Roger Moore's era of Bond, franchise went through a lot of changes and they toned down whatever they didn't like in the Roger Moore era and brought in a badass character to Bond. The Rolex watches were last featured in a Bond movie. If you don't know why Rolexes were in the Bond movie, you should check out the earlier videos I've made with the Bond franchise, which I've put in the description, and in the end credits you'll see them too. So in License to Kill, 2 Rolex watches were featured. The Rolex Submariner date reference 16610 and Submariner reference 5513. So this movie was a Miami Vice drug cartel storyline and was notable for the last appearance of Rolex in the Bond movie. And License to Kill was also the last movie for Timothy Dalton as well as the last year of production of the Rolex Submariner. After a lot of reboots and a lot of changing actors, Pierce Brosnan featured as Bond for the first time in the GoldenEye. Pierce Brosnan was chosen for this role because he acted in a TV show called Remington Steele, so they liked him and they casted him as Bond. And Omega, for the first time, made its appearance in a Bond movie. And the story behind why Omega was cast, and first of all, Omega was the long-time competitor of Rolex, and they were cast organically into the movie by the costume designer Linda Hemming. So she was an Oscar-winning costume designer and she thought that Bond being a naval man, the Seamaster would be the perfect choice for Bond. And it continued in that movie and lasted till the last Bond movie we had seen in 2022. So in the GoldenEye, the Omega Seamaster Professional 300 meter reference 254180 was featured, but this was a Quartz variant. So the special feature of this watch in that movie was that it had a blue dial equipped with a laser beam in the bezel, which Bond uses to cut through wires. He used it to get out of an exploding car in GoldenEye, and the remote detonator button, which was the helium escape valve, he used it to burn down things. So that was the feature of this watch in the GoldenEye movie. The next 3 films of Pierce Brosnan, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day, featured the same watch, which was the Omega Seamaster Automatic Chronometer 300 meter reference 25318000. So this looks identical to the Quartz version, but it is an automatic version, but the features the Bond movie portrayed was completely different for this watch. It had the exact same blue dial as the Quartz version. Even being an automatic watch, this was a automatic chronometer rated movement. So there was a lot of resistance to this watch, like you can know the anti-magnetic and a lot of other features in a chronometer rated watch. So in the movie Tomorrow Never Dies, this watch is equipped with a built-in detonator that sets off a remote hand grenade, and in The World Is Not Enough, it releases a grappling hook with the piton shooting up from the crown. And in Brosnan's last movie, Die Another Day, the watch was with yet another remote detonating device. It's just one of the movie's host of barely believable high-tech plot devices. And at that point, the Aston Martin car was also introduced for Bond. So Pierce Brosnan's era started the journey of Omega and Bond. And that became so much, refined in Daniel Craig's era as Bond, which would be our last video in the Bond franchise. I'm really sad that the Bond franchise is coming to an end this Friday. And hope you enjoyed the video till now, and please do watch the other Bond series which I'm making a playlist of, and you can see it end screen as well as in the description below. And please share this video to your Bond fans, and see you in the last Bond franchise as Daniel Craig's Bond is about to unleash a whole era of amazing Omega watches.
Bond. James Bond.